All right, we are live. This is called the new Anthony Bell. It used to be the Liberty Bell, but it's the Anthony Bell. Just here, Anthony. I'm kidding. All right, it's been a busy week. We've got a lot of things happening, including maybe a discussion on the penny tax that apparently we need to fix Greenville. More money fixes everything, right? So, yeah, I mean, if you can't think creatively and you can't actually go back and look at history and learn anything from history, just tax the people more. That usually works. So, we do have one guest that's been here before, but Mark, you're here again, and welcome. Do you want to introduce yourself? Let us know kind of what your cause is, what your background, why you're here. Is it to get some of the corn? It's not ready yet. The corn is only 3 weeks old.
I didn't know about the corn, but my name is Mark Basanda. I guess I quit coming here 3 years ago. Life got in the way. But anyway, I'm retired. I'm an Army veteran. Spent years in business. Basically, I like to think of myself as independent, but I'm getting more and more conservative as time goes on. And I believe in minimal government. I think the government has its fingers in way too many things that it shouldn't be involved in. But that's me.
Yeah, my thought process is if we switched, instead of the federal tax being 30-some-odd% and state tax being 6% or 7%, if we reversed those roles, maybe the feds wouldn't get their fingers into everything. But then again, I don't know if the state's any better either. So, they seem to like to meddle in everything as well. So the head shaking. So welcome. What did you do in the Army? Just out of curiosity.
Military police.
Oh, were you? Okay, good.
Because I'm 6'8", and they
nice. I mean, good. Well, congratulations. Thank you for your service. I'm glad you're here. So one of the things Mark did say that he wanted to kind of talk about, who we're thanking, people are supporting, so we can kind of go through and talk about some of the, kind of the down ballot over the general election and the down ballot stuff to kind of see where people are feeling out. June 9th are the primaries. I think we're 40 some days now. I mean, it's getting close.
46 days.
46 days minus 14 is early voting. So you're talking 32 days. People will actually start pressing the button. So, it's coming up quick, and some people are just getting their campaign starting in the lower ballot stuff. So what we do want to do and talk first, because one of you guys have to go. Yeah, you got to go get a haircut. Oh, that's not okay. That's what it is. Jeff Brown and Bob Bugas have been working on something to help us with the kind of the emphasis of getting people out to vote on June 9th. And I've been very supportive of it. I think it's a great idea. It's kind of what we're doing with the paper. We got people doing lit drops, reminding people, first of all, that June 9th is coming up. And then we'll do a second one on May 22nd. That'll have, kind of, here's the candidates. Well, first, we've already, the lit drops we're doing now has the list of all the candidates. Here's some information on the candidates. Because really, and Frank and his wife talk about it from being from California. California will send out a package that actually tells people, reminds them to vote. It tells them about here are the candidates. I assume it gives a picture and kind of what they're yeah. Right. And I don't know if y'all have ever saved one or could find one, but we ought to, if you could find one, that'd be great to kind of compare. But we don't do that in the state. So we'll have people that are new to South Carolina that have no earthly idea that when our primaries are, because primaries are different in all kinds of different states. But what these guys are working on is it's called a Patriots Pledge. Promise, right? Patriots Promise. It's just a PP. We can switch. but to promise to come out and vote. We're not really telling them how to vote. We'll tell them that later. But and I think hopefully they figure it out. Hopefully that's why they came to South Carolina to get away from some bad things in their prior areas. But it's kind of a pledge and to remind them and stuff. But I'll hand it off to Bob.
Thank you. So I'm Bob Bugas, Executive Committee Man for
Del Norte precinct, and Jeff Brown with me as executive committee man for Devonshire precinct. Together with some of the other members of our Zone 7 group, we've developed this project called the Patriots Promise. And the motivation behind this is a concern that people are not tuned into the need to vote and making a commitment to actually show up and vote. Sadly, that's a problem. So we focused on this, and we've come up with this concept called the Patriots Promise. We've come up with a form that we'll deliver to people either by email or in person at the door or wherever the occasion arises, where we ask people to sign their name in some way, either by email or personally, making a pledge that they will vote. And we've drafted something for them to sign. We've drafted what it says. I think it's worth reading out loud for those who might want to hear it, but we'll have a copy of it available. What it reads is, as a patriotic American.
Are we able to display on this TV?
It's a little more difficult to put up there. We do have it on. Yeah, it's on the live stream, so it's kind of the main thing on there. So
We do have
but
it.
we've got copies here, and I don't know if you got some extra. If you want to pass them around, to folks. I'll pass those around.
Just that one. So this form or that document will say, as a patriotic American, I accept personal responsibility to cast a patriotic ballot in every primary and general election that comes to my attention. I will make it my personal business to keep track of registration requirements and the deadline to carry my vote or to cast my vote in a timely manner. And I will actively encourage other like-minded patriots to do the same. It's a pretty simple statement. It's pretty obvious. We're just asking you to vote.
That's great.
And just by someone signing that helps you to think about the fact that, yes, I'm going to make sure I show up. I'm going to make sure I know about the day. I'm going to make sure I'm registered. They're going to take that effort and commit to doing that. And that's what we're asking people to do. We've put it together in a format with a logo that I will actually just show you. Show you. There's an image.
She got on the big
Okay,
screen.
we've got it on the screen now. We put together a little logo that just, called Patriots Promise, using the letters PP, something that will show up, be dramatic, and include in that form the word to vote, because that's what this is all about, committing that people will vote. We've put on there a form that would include contact information so that when you sign this or when you receive this and you commit to doing it, you will indicate how we can get in touch with you to assist you, because we're not just asking people to make the commitment. We're also going to commit to helping you do that by keeping in contact with people so that they'll be able to know it's time to vote. As evidence has shown in this county, and I'm sure elsewhere as well, it's often hard to know where you're supposed to vote. Voting dates change, voting locations change, precincts change, they get moved around. You actually have to go online to be sure you're getting the right information about where to vote. So the commitment that we're asking people to make is to find out and stay on top of that. And our commitment is going to be to help you know that. So we get listed where you can, some information that the person who receives this can jot down. Whether they do that or not, we just want people to make that commitment. So
I'll just add that the key is not to promote any candidate at this point. Really, it's the first step is to get people to the ballot box, right? It's not saying, oh, you want to avoid unnecessarily alienating people by saying, oh, this is my favorite candidate. You really need to consider it. That's great at the right time, but at this juncture, we really want to the visions that drive people to the ballot box. And if they don't quote unquote vote the right way, well, that's their right. But it gives an opportunity to begin that relationship where they know, okay, they care about the vote, because that is the foundation of this whole system of government. So we have discussions about how to promote it, making stickers for the car windows or for whatever, just ways to identify that. Maybe even possibly contributing to people's awareness by making yard signs.
Sure.
And asking people, hey, would you, nominal fee, pay $5 or $10 for a yard sign, and just post it now, in the few weeks before.
That's not a bad idea. We buy yard signs in large quantities for about $3.15 delivered.
Good.
And imagine everybody, knock on the door, take this, and say, hey, will you stick it out? Just reminding people that the election is June 9th.
It's not even partisan.
Not partisan, just stick it out there.
You just said Patriots Promise.
Yeah, we have
That is
our little
yeah.
brand, our little trademark.
They're going to start charging for the trademark. So
Yeah.
they'll come back as a billionaire.
Yes.
Well, the trademark is just so people take it serious.
Yeah.
But the
And Bob's a lawyer too, so that's why. He's like me, paranoid about everything. So let's get a trademark.
I confess I am a lawyer. The
Recovering.
recovering lawyer in more than one way.
Well, I will say, because we do have a U.S. Senate candidate, Patrick Harriman. I think I'm saying it right, Harriman. He says, just tuned in. Let's go. Let's show up and vote. Patriots Promise sounds great. So you do at least have
We're off to a
your
good
first.
start.
You do have your first senatorial candidate endorsement. So.
All right, so I would just add to this what we've already mentioned. One of the things we're planning to do is to communicate to people by email. Send out an email to people asking them to commit to the Patriots Promise. And what I anticipate that it will state will be, will you join us in signing this this simple statement expressing our commitment to the Patriots Promise stated below. In support of this statement, we also invite you to include information that will help us remind you of the various elections in which you may have opportunities to participate. So that's the idea of making that commitment, reaching out to people. And my hope is that through our organization and through our voting efforts and our campaign efforts, people will reach out to make this commitment and to communicate the information so we can get back to them and get people to show up at the polls and vote.
Yep.
Well, let me just finish that one other thing, though, is the logo that we've developed is also something Jeff mentioned, that maybe like stickers or something. Other things we might try to do, maybe a pin that someone would wear to show that they've committed to the Patriots Promise, or that they are the person in your precinct that you should go to, because that's a person who's wearing this pin. Say, hell, I should go ask that person.
Sure.
And stickers and possibly pins down the road. We don't have pins as yet. And the other thing is maybe like other various merchandise kind of things that you can throw out, mints or something.
The other thing I forgot to mention is these guys own a swag company. So they're trying to sell swag too. So.
That is 100% not the case.
Yeah, can we
This
do
is a
that?
sales-
But maybe we should. Maybe we should.
Sue for libel?
That's right. Yes, I mean, that's pretty rough in this
Okay.
thing. The only other thing I was saying, because I don't know if you said it in there, but you're asking them to promise to do this, promise to tell other friends too. I mean, because this has to get exponential. It can't just be us. Can't be just you two. It needs to be other folks participating, and those folks then passing it along. It's all kind of passing further.
I would add to our Patriots Promise pledge that we've outlined here. It includes at the end of that, it says, and I will actively encourage other like-minded patriots to do the same.
Perfect. Exactly. That's all we need. Yes, Bob.
I started door knocking last night. This
You just started door knocking last night.
yeah.
All right, you're forgiven.
All right. So I was out of town last week. Anyways, I started door knocking, and this is a perfect example of one of the ladies that spoke last time. We spoke about 45 minutes. She's a senior, and so she asked me to come back, give her some more information about the different candidates and all that stuff. And so this is important. Also to remind them that only 14% or 50% of the general population votes in primaries. So that's why this is even so much more important. We only have a 15% turnout for primaries. And I've still said this to one of the other ladies I was door knocking on. She said that's just South Carolina. So that's the whole point. Is that's why this is so important to do what Bob and Jeff put together, because it's incredible. It's perfect timing. That because you only have 50% turnout. We have to educate everybody that how important the primary is. You only have 15% turnout, and all one of the things I need to do for this lady is offer her a ride to voting, because she's in her 80s and so forth. But that's a different conversation.
Just help her out with early voting, or however she wants to do
but
it.
Again, remind everybody there's only a 15% turnout, and if we want things to be different, you have to turn out in the primaries, get different candidates in than what we have.
Think about it mathematically. If we have 15% turnout, your vote is worth the vote of what, 6 people, 6.5 people. So the more people that come out and vote, and our goal is our thought process. If we can go from 15% in the primary to 20%, that's an extra 5 people out of 100 in your precinct. If you can, you're motivating one. I don't know if she normally votes or not, but if you can motivate an extra 5 people out of every 100 people you have in your precinct, and if they are good, conservative, we say Trump supporting MAGA type people, we want everybody to vote, but that will, that could flip everything in the state. So it can make all the difference. And I will tell you from personal experience, the political consultants, more the establishment side of it, they don't want voter turnouts. They want to keep the vote low because they can control it because they know who normally votes. They can try to influence those people with a whole bunch of mailers, and people do get influenced by a whole bunch of mailers, and that's what their goal is. So if they see early numbers, I've been on the phone with them, and I tell them we got this much in this precinct. They're like, oh no, that's a little high. That's high voter turnout. They're like, oh, that's not good. I'm like, wait, what do you mean it's not good? I'm like, you know who you're talking to right now? Because we actually encourage. But we're honest about it. We want more people to turn out because our saying is they want to keep it small to control it all. We know that within the party, but it's the same thing with the voting too. The smaller they keep it, the more they can control it.
Jeff Brown and I have worked up this program and developed it, but in order for it to be effective, there needs to be some vehicle through which this gets taken the next step. So I'm hoping that our Republican Party here in Greenville can take that next step and develop it. And we have in this organization a marvelous setup where people have focused on developing databases and information. So I'm hopeful that that can be handed to somebody who's able to effectuate this concept.
For our 20% cut, we will be more than happy to do this.
And there won't be a charge.
So 20% is zero. All right, we got a deal. We'll do it. Yeah. All right. I think it's fantastic. Very supportive of it. We want to get it out there and we'll push more. So thank you guys for doing that. And get to ask them for a shave too, Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay, that is shame. We do have a special guest today. Oh,
One for David to sign now.
I want to sign one right now.
we do have a special guest this week, David Atchley.
All right.
And Rodney, you can sit up here too. He's actually signing the form right now. So he is pledging to vote for himself.
I am.
That is the toughest sell ever. Hey, Dave, are you taking a picture?
Hey, Bob, David hold the.
Yes.
Y'all hold it up, and Bob, you get in there too. Y'all
Get in the picture too, since you're here.
All right. You were the one that.
Bob, You don't.
Come on, you're a marathon.
Come on, you're representing with that shirt. You need to show the shirt off. Thank you, guys. Very good, very good. All right, well, today we've got a special guest, David Atchley. He is running for the 4th Congressional District, which is vast majority of Greenville, vast majority of Spartanburg. So we really just consider it Greenville, Spartanburg. I can't say Spartanburg, Greenville. I got to say Greenville, Spartanburg. We do have in Greenville. We do have a little bit of the 3rd Congressional District in the southern part of the county, but we're dominated by the 4th. So David is here, and he's going to talk to us about his candidacy, what he's seeing as a first-time candidate, and why he's got in the race. He spoke to the Greenville GOP, I guess the 12th, whatever day it was, a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I mean, time flies. Yeah.
Crazy.
It is crazy. I'm sure it's even crazier for you. So,
Yes.
But introduce yourself. Tell us about your personal reasons in life and who you are. And
Okay.
why you're running.
David Atchley. First, I'd like to thank our veterans here.
Yes. Yes.
Amazing service to our
Thank
country, and I do that on we have events all over the district, and first thing I do is thank the people in service, not only veterans, but our law enforcement. Very underappreciated, but do appreciate each and every one of you.
And you know what? They are active too. That's what I really appreciate. That a lot of our veterans stay active, get active. They served our country in service, and then they get out there and participate in things like this here.
For sure. I mean, I'm a newcomer to politics. I'm not a politician nor a lawyer. Sorry about that. But I am a businessman for the last 45 years and have built my life building businesses, serving higher education and fund development, and more recently, last 13 years, working with different nonprofits, for-profits throughout the Mid-Atlantic, but primarily in the upstate. So let me sort of depict my why and why now, because that's very important. I grew up under the Limbaugh name. Rush Limbaugh was my mom's cousin. And so, like Rush or not, but he created interest in politics. He created dialogue. And Rhonda and I were in Cape Girardeau, Missouri last week, meeting with David Limbaugh, his brother, who is an author and a columnist. And he wants to be supportive of my campaign. So on May 13th, anybody watching or hearing or listening or in this room is welcome to come to hear him talk and give the Limbaugh endorsement, which is very important to me. It goes back to my farming roots back in southeast Missouri. I called it summer camp. It was my parents did. I went out on my grandfather's farm and herded cattle for basically Memorial Day to Labor Day every summer until I was 12. But farming is a work that is not about the pay, it's about the hard work and the outcome. And I learned that starting at 5. Then I was fortunate enough to be raised by a lifelong educator. Bill Atchley was my father. He was always in higher education in the engineering field, but became the president of Clemson University here locally. That's how I first came to the upstate. I lived my high school days at Clemson, but my father always told me, you show up, you do what you say, when you say you're going to do it with the right intent. And he told me that every day. So everything I do, I don't say something I'm not going to do. Doesn't mean it happens, but I'm going to try to do it. And that's always been a value. But why the race and why the race now is at 15, I was able to be a Senate floor page under Strom Thurmond. And Strom Thurmond, as most of us know, was a lifelong politician. He just was. He doesn't define term limits for sure, but one thing that made him a great
His term limits are 100 years.
he retired on his 100th birthday, if you remember, on the Senate floor. But he gave me the opportunity to work on Capitol Hill as Senate floor page when I was 15, and he called me to his office and he said, "You have to promise me in your lifetime you run for some kind of public service. That could be school board, city councils, whatever. But he said, you're learning in DC. You're learning at a level that most people don't get an opportunity. And I would hope you would run for some kind of federally elected office, be Senate, be Congress. So I always remembered that. I didn't do it right off the bat. I went out and built a law enforcement business in the 911 space, gave me great appreciation of what those individuals do every day to keep our safe communities. And the foundation of our communities are safe communities. You look around this world, the ones you don't want to live in are the ones that aren't safe. And we have to continue to invest in our law enforcement, and our fire departments, and our first responders as a whole. I learned that as a vendor, but I got to see them every day. I did that for 13 years, built my own business only because I felt like trying. The only person who employ myself was myself, so I did it myself. So, and then I sold that. I was able to go out and higher education despite what I told my dad. I went out and was able to do fund development, meaning running capital campaigns for Wofford Presbyterian and Mary Baldwin University in Virginia. And I learned more important things. I learned under a guy that Marion Peavy is still one of my mentors. He's passed away now, but he talked about impact and he talked about raising money. And he says, it's not about the money. Money will come if you've done everything right in between. And that's connecting to the people, learning who they are, what their interests are, connecting the right mission to them, surrounding them with the right people, and the money will always come. And I never thought it that way. I always so stressed out that you had to raise $1 million right then, or I'm a failure. And it's all about the relationship and the journey, because each one of us have a different journey. And then more recently, I've had a consulting business working with all kinds of brands, from Buzz Aldrin, the astronaut, running his foundation. That's a true American hero. Might be one of the few left. He's 95 or 6 right now, still ticking out in California. I was able to run his educational foundation. Education is very important to me. It's one of the things that if we don't invest in education, what we're leaving our kids, that's our future. Why are we not investing in them and the teachers who teach them? We have to keep investing in them. So it's very important that he taught me, he was all about space education in K through 12 and doing STEM products with Moon and Mars Math as the curriculum. And we went through 2,000 schools throughout the country. But he said you get to every 4th, 5th, and 6th grader in America. Failure is not an option. He used to say that. He still says that.
Good.
So after 40 plus years of experience, the one thing I'm going to do is now fulfill my promise to run for some kind of federally elected office. This district, I think, needs representation, meaning you show up, you're there, you're listening, you're present. When you're not in DC, you're here working with your constituents. And I think that going back to what Strom did, but also Carol Campbell did back in his tenure, they served their constituents first. They knew their obligation was DC, but they were here representing the district. And that's one thing I can do. And I do think experience matters. One thing I do think is experience. I got 45 years of experience. Don't know if it's an uphill challenge on this race, and I got that. A little bit about my campaign. At the end of it, we'll have done about 60 events throughout the district. We're about halfway through that point. We had an event at Augusta 20 downtown. We had 80 plus people there. And the thing I always say is show up and vote. Show up and vote. And I love that form because every future event, we're going to give it to.
I noticed you and Ron are both sitting there shaking your head yes, because it is a critical thing, getting people to come out to vote. So not fully your job. You want to get them to come out and vote just for you. That's the beginning. That's good. But our job as the party is to get more of for us, at least, like-minded people. But generally, we want more people voting. So
yeah, I mean, that's what I think our number one obligation as a citizen is to vote. And to hear 12, 15% voter turnout, what's happening? We need to get involved. And I will do my part regardless if I win or lose to promote voting. It's important. So that page that I just signed, I will make it available to every event. We got 30 more, and I'm sure we'll touch thousands more people during that process. And get involved in organizations like this because they are important. I wasn't involved. I learned it through you. And I see great people around the table getting involved. We need more of you, for sure.
Good. How do you find, don't give us anything confidential, but how are you finding the campaign process as being a candidate? How are you, kind of give us a little like, oh, this is crazy, or this is the best experience of my life, or this is, because it's always interesting and to kind of do that, we're in the campaign right now, but, it's always fun to do the recap after the campaign too.
No, I'll say going in, I've built business, did many different things in my life. This is an interesting, hard process. And I will, tip my cap to any politician that does it, because the rigor of it and doing it well, regardless if you win or lose, it is a hard process. There's 800,000 people in my district, roughly. You can't connect them all, but I'm going to try. I mean, one thing I am committed to is for them to get to know who I am as a person and what I can do for them. But doing that, it's every night. We have probably 8 meetings a day on the campaign trail through the district, but an event most every night, either your event or like last night, I got some 20 there in Lander at the Hare and the Hound the other night. But connecting to the community is very important. And we're on podcasts. We were on Miranda and
We've been with Post and Courier,
Keith Taylor.
Keith Taylor podcast,
Okay.
Taylor Brown podcast. We also have a couple of library events coming up that are open to the public.
Good.
You know,
We did talk about the Limbaugh event a little
Yeah.
more.
so to me, I think the Limbaugh event is a good way to learn sort of what I'm about. We'll have
And again, that's May 13th.
right,
And it's on that Augusta
We
Road.
have 2 events in Spartanburg. We have a VIP event at the Poinsett Club that's being sponsored. And then we also have a public event at the Vista on Augusta Road.
Okay.
And then we travel to Spartanburg. Both events there will duplicate that. So we have a VIP event and then an open to the public event on the campus of DCOM
All right.
at the Dupree House.
at the Degree
And
House.
we're happy to flip the invitation to you and anybody who wants to come.
Yeah, well, happy to spread the word. I grew up with Rush Limbaugh. I mean, when I was in college or certainly in grad school, I was in law school and I listened to Rush Limbaugh all the time. And it's like that, I think, influenced a lot of people my age to kind of, be there. And it is a sore loss, because he was fantastic, but I assume he wasn't the only person in his family that felt that way.
No, interesting thing. We were out, like I said last Friday, sort of getting the Limbaugh endorsement. But the story that was told, and I remember sort of vaguely, he never graduated high school. He dropped out, went and worked for the Kansas City Royals, then went out to Sacramento and started the EIB network, and then syndicated it to New York. And the rest is history.
I didn't know that he had not finished high school.
Yeah.
I will tell you, but in my prior life, doing what we did in family office work, the three of the largest clients we had that were billionaires had not finished college. It's like they were so anxious to get out there and work and do
Right.
things, and they were doers. And I think college kind of felt like it slowed them down or something. I don't know, but
Well,
it's
I mean,
interesting.
he did tell, and this is what his brother David, who's coming to do the talk and the endorsement, he said when he left the homestead and came to go to Kansas City, he said, I'm going to go out and I'm going to make a bigger difference and more money than everyone in this family combined. And they're combined of like judges and doctors, lawyers and farmers. And by damn if he didn't.
He definitely did. So.
He was an amazing guy. And also he said he created narrative. He got people back interested in politics back when it was waning in the day. And a lot of people didn't like him. but they listened to him and didn't like it.
I don't know anybody that didn't like Rush. So I mean, maybe I'm
On the
thinking
other
out
side of the aisle, they didn't like him at all. But he was a great American hero to me and my family, and it's an honor to have Dave Limbaugh come out and give the endorsement. And I would love for all of you to show up. And May 13th, 12:30, open to the public at the Vista on Augusta.
Yeah, we got it on the screen. 12:30 to 2 at the Vista Restaurant and Bar. That's 2017A Augusta Street, 29605. So over there. Yeah, we'll add it on. Yeah, and we'll post it in the chat for other folks. But yeah, we'll put it out there. So
Okay.
I mean, I think it'd be great, to hear him, hear what his speech and his endorsement of you. And all that
He's
stuff.
going to talk about growing up with Rush and then give sort of his opinion of the current landscape of politics.
Wow.
And then would introduce me in as the endorsement. That's sort of the road.
If David is ready for a question, there is one online
Oh.
for Megan.
We do have one question from Megan. Question for Dave. What are your plans to protect Americans from migrant crime? That's our big issue. Immigrants.
Immigration and crime. We've absolutely done the right thing in securing our borders and deporting the ones that are not should not be here and they're committing crimes. We got to stay focused on that.
Which is, to me, is one of the biggest, craziest things out there. Is we can't get the left even agree to get rid of illegal immigrants.
Right.
And I'm like, how direct? Where is? I mean, I get that you just want to oppose the other side, but these people are criminals. And they don't even want to get rid of them.
No, yeah.
Before they
I know.
Yes.
have to do something.
I mean, there's no rationale to any of that. We have, all about safe communities, and that's one component. We have to deport the bad ones. We have to keep our communities safe. But we need to get back. This country was built on immigration, right? So we said fair and legal immigration is what we need to get back to. And I think we're getting there for sure. It's a hard task to go and deport. I don't know how many people went across the border. The numbers
I mean,
vary.
they say it's 15, 20 million people. That's tough to ask for,
That's
really.
a mammoth order. But, we do got to keep deporting right now the ones that shouldn't be here and committing crimes and using our system for sure.
Very good. So,
I
Ron,
just had a question. I don't know if it's
grab the mic.
because I've been,
Grab the mic.
You might hear it, you might want to do that.
of course.
He's got bad hearing. You got bad hearing. Nobody can hear anybody.
Nobody can answer any
Speak into the mic.
I may have missed the whole introduction here, but you are running against Timmons.
Correct.
And what hasn't Timmons done that you're going to do?
Hold on. Says it twice. That's great when it's a fun 1 or 2 times. We
That was
hear it about
perfect.
18 times a day. It comes on every hour.
That's
But we
perfect
did have
timing.
somebody come in this week and bought 2 of those clocks. I'm like, you need 2 of them in your house? They bought 3. I don't know we have any more. But back to Ron's question.
All right.
Sorry.
Yeah. What hasn't Timmons done that you're going to do different?
What has he done? That's a better question.
You know, what hasn't he? But specifically,
Well, he hasn't shown up in this district. He doesn't do town halls. He's not present in the District 1. He's got a poor voting record relative to the rest of Congress. And as far as legislation co-sponsored or introduced, he's near the bottom. We live in the best district in the country, and we deserve representation. That means being here at these meetings when I'm in town. That means listening to my constituents and not being absent from the district when I'm not in DC. That is the number one thing I'm running on, is what Carol Campbell used to do, show up. What Thurman used to do, serve his constituents.
He
And
never
that,
answers my texts.
what's that?
Never answers my texts.
Who did?
Timmons.
Oh. Well, I hear that. I haven't texted him personally because I don't know, but I did call his number. He said, I'll pick up the phone. And I got the voice recording. I hadn't heard that from him.
I have
But,
a personal number. He never answers.
well, it is all about representation.
he still maintains Trump's support, though.
That's fine.
I will say that that is the one thing I've always heard from people about Strom Thurmond is that he would come back, be in the district on the weekends, especially Friday night, like high school football games. He would show up, meet people, talk to people all day long. And he took and it was Strom Thurmond was on the Republican side, and then Fritz Hollings was on the Democratic side. And they took care of South Carolina.
Yeah.
And that a bit is my disappointment. And everybody talks about Lindsey Graham, but that's the election this year. We got 2 years from now to be back up to Tim Scott's position. Is I'm not sure what those guys are doing for South Carolina. And it's Lindsey Graham is a powerful individual, chairman of the budget. They're doing the budget reconciliation stuff now. He's getting stuff done, but where do you hear him talk about South Carolina? And that's the disappointing thing. And I wish of anything, whatever happens in that election or in 2028, whoever is our senator and our other congressional representatives, they've got to focus on our state. They've got to use their influence to get Columbia to do the right thing, and they got to use their influence to get the whatever benefits or whatever we can get from the feds, whether we're taking more or less of our share. I don't really know, don't really care, but they need to focus on South Carolina because we have a lot of needs here. There's a lot of problems. Yes, right.
A lot of infrastructure needs to be worked on.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen a congressional, I don't know what, I guess federal dollars for roads.
Right.
I guess that would be something I'd be able to talk about.
This should be one MSA. Greenville, Spartanburg should be one MSA.
It
They
is.
are not.
That they look at it that way, though.
But in DC, they're not. So you don't get the looks on the business front, recruitment front, and you don't get as many federal dollars. If you combine those MSAs, you're the size of a Salt Lake City, Utah.
I just heard excuse me. I just heard on the news media that was a couple of weeks ago that combining those areas, we're over 1 million people here.
Yeah.
It's over 1 million now.
We already are.
Alone is over 1 million people.
That's right.
Not
I
quite.
mean,
We're not getting that double road infrastructure and stuff before the traffic. The traffic's here now.
the traffic.
The traffic on those roads is here
Yeah.
now. The roads aren't ready. We don't have the 4 lane to handle what Atlanta is still messed up over. They did the same thing.
And
Right.
once you get behind, you never catch up, but you got to start making efforts.
Right.
And, I talked to a big developer here, and just to pave one road a mile, just to repave it, $1 million a mile. $1 million. This is construction guy does it every day. What's that?
Said, oh my, aching back.
We have a question for Ray.
I'm with the pro-life community, the pro-life chairman for the party here. I have a couple questions. Number one is the Restore Act. I realize there's several Restore Acts, but this deals with reproductive or remedial reproductive medicine. In other words, natural ways to increase fertility that cost maybe hundreds or thousands or a few $1,000s to make a woman fertile for life, as opposed to spending tens of thousands of dollars with IVF to have a small chance of having a child, and then having to go through the procedure if you want additional. But there is an act out there to encourage looking into fixing what's wrong with the woman, as opposed to simply bypassing it. And then the other issue is the Comstock Act. This is a law that's already in place. We don't have to create anything, but we do need to get the FBI to enforce it, particularly with the selling of illegal abortion pills in states where they're illegal.
Right.
So I realize lawmakers like to make laws, but at the same time, there is oversight that the legislative branch has on the FBI. So the questions are, what are your feelings about letting women become pregnant naturally, and about putting pressure on the FBI to enforce the laws we already have?
That's a deep question.
Yeah, that is.
Is that a yes or no?
I didn't know all that, but I do think things should happen naturally, always, for sure. The enforcement by the FBI, if it's the law, it should be enforced, right?
Why is it?
I don't know. I mean,
Is that something you could put?
that would be one to certainly put pressure on enforcing the law, right? That's part of And that's why we have things.
Subpoena.
It's the same with the corruption in DC.
That is what's interesting.
I'm
People,
like, why are they immune? If you did insider trading, you would be held accountable.
Great.
It happens all the time. Why aren't they?
grab the mic, Emerson.
I'm sorry.
But no, it's the same question Ray asked of David Pasco, and he's like, if it's the law, we will enforce it. And what is so disappointing to me is there's laws on the books that they're not enforcing generally because they have a political persuasion one way or the other. And then on the second side is the corruption piece. If you're in a certain class, you're getting away with everything, and those of us that aren't in that class get all kinds of stuff against us.
Well, speaking of that, we arrested one of the soldiers who participated in the raid on Maduro for placing a poly market bet, then risking his life to go snatch us a dictator. But we haven't investigated or detained or had any of our congressmen or congresswomen or senators testify about insider trading.
Tell us about that bet, because I saw that last night. They asked
$400,000 off of it.
$400,000.
$400,000.
But he bet he was one of the soldiers that went into Venezuela. He bet that we would take Maduro.
Yeah.
So at least he bet for the team.
Yeah. That's exactly what Trump was saying.
That's what Trump said.
It's like a coach betting on his team. It's fantastic. We'd say it's great, but Cash Patel was on Twitter or X, wherever you want to call it, saying to thank all our investigators for helping us with this case. And everyone else let me get this straight. You're not going after any of the people in the Epstein files, which that's a whole other topic in and of itself. You're not going after any of the politicians insider trading. You're not enforcing laws on the books now, but you're going to go after one of our soldiers who risked life and limb doing one of the most base things I have ever seen.
It was fun. Trump had one of his Oval Office things yesterday, and somebody asked him that question. I don't think he knew anything about it. He said he'd check into it, but it was like they went after this soldier for betting, and he's like, "Did they bet for us?" I guess. So.
Being a veteran, I can see where that is a problem with going after the vet because he did it, but he was privy to classified information.
That's the problem.
And he used it to just for his own purposes, and that is a violation of the UCMJ. Therefore, the federal government, the feds, the FBI shouldn't even be prosecuting. He should be prosecuted inside the military for what he did.
That's right.
They need to hand him over to the JAG and let them deal with it.
The only problem is all the other people in government who are not.
Yes, that's the comparison.
That's where the federal government, the FBI should be paying attention.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, if they seen a problem with it and they were like, hey, they should have contacted the JAG and said, hey, you got a guy that did this. Here's the information you need to deal with. But no, they shouldn't have went in there and arrested. They should have let the military take care of their own, which has always been the policy. Take care of your own. We got our own policy, our own procedures for doing things, and our own court system.
It's really bad optics for the FBI.
Yeah.
And it violated the USMJ and it's an OPSEC violation, but it's seen by a lot who has rules for thee but not for me.
Right.
That reminds me of all the people that are following Nancy Pelosi's insider trading, betting on what she bets. They're all getting in trouble. But a question I have for you, and I think you're the right person to answer it, is that there's a movement now that's saying a lot of the things we've learned via the media about our history are not true. So I'm going to ask you, did we really land on the moon?
Wow. She always has a great question.
Never ask Buzz Aldrin that because they'll roundhouse you.
Oh, that's true. That's good. Mark.
They did roundhouse that guy.
I can answer that one for you too. Yes, because Neil Armstrong and my dad were friends. So.
All right.
Yeah, he was on the
You
moon.
hear that out there?
Right. Well, it is a hell of a question. I get it asked all the time.
Yeah.
And I can see why you get both sides. However, I look at it two ways. It'd be the best kept secret ever if we haven't done that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you know Charlie Dick by a name, but he was an Apollo astronaut. I forget which mission, 15, 16, whatever. Lives here in Greenville, and I've had the chance to meet him multiple times. And he is the most honest to God person that would tell the truth. And he talks about his experience there. If I can't get validated the other way, he validated it for me. It is. We're trying to go back now, and it's taken longer than I thought. I don't know all the circumstances, but At that time, it was a race against Russia to win. And we put, I don't know, 400,000, whatever it was, 1,000 people at this mission, and we did it. And Armstrong was the first guy on the boat because Aldrin was supposed to be first, but he had to turn around and do something else, and Armstrong got ahead of him. His alphabetical order.
Oh,
They still had that resentment on his back.
That's cool.
There's one online.
There's one other question from Megan. Will you work to root out fraud in our Social Security programs such as SNAP and Social Security Disability?
We're going to root out all fraud. There's fraud in every program. And people ask, what's an effective use of artificial intelligence? And that's a big issue. It just is. That's a longer conversation. But a good use of the artificial intelligence was, let's figure out where the fraud is in every program and focus on cutting that first.
I think you could, I mean, that's what AI is good at, processing large data sets, and then it's not always right, it gets wrong answers, but you could use that to process a lot of data and then let it show you things and then go investigate, see if it's there.
And there's a lot of potential harm with AI too.
Yeah, I mean,
they need to start putting boundaries around all that and make it a responsible technology. And we got to win that revolution too, because it's the next one and it's here to stay. We don't want data centers in our backyard, but we need them because they take a lot of power, water, and land to operate and don't create many jobs. But
who's actually promoting data centers? I mean, every candidate, every elected official is listening to the public and opposing it. And they're all for it. Huh?
Yeah.
Spartanburg, everybody on council. Yeah, you're right. You're right. They got there. You're right. That's where it is. They're not up for elections. Yeah.
But they're here to stay. I mean, they do create power hogs, and we're using it more and more. And I forgot who I talked to on AI the other day, but one of the leaders, he goes, you wait and see, quantum's next. And if you want to see power, quantum's the next evolution. But I don't even know. I barely know AI, because I can't imagine what quantum would be.
We have a big server over there. We have whatever this thing is. But our electric power bill keeps going up. And I see us over there smiling. They're like, we're going to put this at the office because I don't want it at my house.
Just as a note, that little thing behind you draws less power than one of those overhead lights.
Oh. All right. That's what they keep telling me. I know it's the problem is the lights. Yes. Let's turn the lights down. Be more of it. Well, David, thank you for any closing comments or anything. Oh, yeah.
I have one last question. You mentioned fraud and so forth, and you also mentioned investing in our school systems. Okay, and to me, first, how much of our state budget is for schools? Is it 30%, 40%?
Well, he's running for Fed, so I don't know if you've looked
Oh,
at the state. It's about $9 billion, I think.
I know how much follows a student generally.
How much? Okay, what's the cost in this county to educate a student?
It's about 12 or 15, somewhere in that range.
So and it's increased every year, correct?
Yes,
Okay. So how is South Carolina doing on what percentage of kids are reading on grade level or doing math in grade level? And is that declining or is that increasing?
I think it's declining. I've seen the recent numbers, but yes.
Well, so the whole point was, why are we spending more money on education when the students are learning less, and more students are falling behind grade level? And so when we go start teaching critical thinking and logic, and not teach indoctrination, but so
he's an education guy. So
I mean, the experience I've had when you catch someone before they get into elementary is basically when they're 3 years old. And I did some work with Legacy Charter, which is a predominantly disadvantaged school in Greenville. And William Brown, who founded, a lot of respect for him, invested in getting them unfunded at the 3-year-old level, because they know if you can't catch them and have them read and write by then, when they get in kindergarten or whatever, they're already way behind. So investing in that 3-year-old at some level is very important. And investing in our teachers. We got to have quarterly schools where the teachers are given the tools to be successful for our kids. That's our lifeblood.
Yeah, but
that's
but how is the curriculum? It's all about curriculum, right?
Right. Well,
so when you say investing in teachers, you could be paying them more. Or what resources don't they have?
Get the mic.
What resources don't they have?
as well. I don't think they're given the authority to educate in the classroom
Yeah,
first.
they're told what to do,
And,
and they're given resources. Oh, here's a curriculum, or here's a package, and it sits over there and collects dust because some salesperson sold them on it.
Well, I did think we're top heavy on our administrative costs. You know, if you look, and I worked with school districts all over the country with Buzz Aldrin, and the amount of overhead, high-paid overhead at the administration level, and the underpaid teachers. At 3 years ago, we had 9,000 too few teachers for Clark County schools in Vegas. You know who was educating them? Pizza delivery people and babysitters. I'm like, how is that ever acceptable? We have to invest in the teacher. We have to pay them a working wage. They can't go home and buy their supplies for their students. They give enough.
Grab the mic.
Okay. Again, then what is the qualified as the living wage? I just moved here from Virginia, and we were paying the starting pay was $51,000. So I'm not sure, and we couldn't hire either. There was, so had the same issue. So is the issue pay, or is
the issue's not pay? The issue, I mean,
It's quality.
it's quality. It's they're not allowed to teach. People want become a teacher to teach, and they're not allowed to teach.
Well, again, so that demonstrates the system being broken. What the teachers are being taught.
Yes.
Well,
And we don't have a pipeline of teachers like we used to. And the Converse colleges of the world used to educate most of our teachers, and now it's maybe a tenth of that. So it's. I think a lot of people want to be teachers, but they see the problems in the classroom. So they're like, even bother. Maybe they get in for the right reasons and leave. Maybe they're retiring earlier. Every time I see a retired teacher, I always encourage them to go back because we need their expertise and their experience to go back. We need more teachers. I just believe that. 1 in 30, that's not a great ratio. So.
I have a follow up to this. We've, as a nation, we have spent so much money convincing people to go to college to get a degree that pays for that you can't use for anything. Why are we not investing money at the local level to teach these children the skills to be able to go out into the blue collar workforce, which is hell, a plumber makes more money than a daggone most of you people coming out of college, and he don't have a degree. Why are we not working towards that at the federal level, saying we need to focus more on that kind of stuff and quit focusing on this? Everybody needs to go to college and get a degree, because last I checked, there's no jobs out there for philosophers, art appreciation.
Because the left wants everybody to go to college to get indoctrinated, and then they take over the world. That's what's happening.
And, we do. I learned this from one of our candidates. I think Pamela Abbott mentioned in her speech, is that our tech schools throughout South Carolina are the best in the country. We need to continue to invest in it, because the trade, you're right. Going to college doesn't have the same value it did back when I was just required to go to college. I have 2 sons, one that went to college and one that didn't go to college. He went to tech school to get a trade, and the other went to college. And I think we need to have both pathways. Now, I went to a liberal arts school, and I hear that, I guess what a liberal arts school did gave me a broad understanding of the world, which then I was able to apply to go and do whatever I wanted to do.
But you're probably the exception to the rule for people for your class.
Yeah, I don't know.
the times have changed. So it's difference between then and now.
I mean, I think today college is overemphasized. I mean, if people want to go to college, I think we certainly provide that. But we need to invest more in trade schools, because that is still going to be, AI is not replacing welding, I hope.
We're those trades back to high school before they were. When I was in high school in the 80s, early 80s, we had electricians, we had plumbers, we had welders.
That's what Paul Dan's talking about. You want to put shop.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
we love shop.
You graduate from high school, you go right into the work.
I agree. I'm an accountant, CPA, lawyer guy. I love shop. I mean, I miss shop.
He brings up a good point. I got to interject here because I'm just building off what you said. That's what's on my mind. When I went to high school, in high school, we made that decision. Here's your college course choice. Here's the school you're going into right now. And they were side by side. We had a high school dedicated going to college. Right next door, we had a high school trade school.
Mm-hmm.
And at that level, it was not after high school. It was a choice in high school.
That's
I'm
correct.
going to be a trade. So and they shut all those down. They were shut down in Indiana, that's where I was from. Here,
Started them back up here.
but even here, they're only saying after high school, go to this trade college. Why not the high schools rebuild that?
I do hear of the emerging trend of high school and college, like charter school, middle colleges
Right.
that focus on trade schools. Or one that I just heard about, because I work with VCOM, which is the largest medical school, the DO school out of Spartanburg, Virginia Tech, Auburn, and UL Monroe. They are getting ready to invest in a high school that educates these lower level medical professions, med techs, or whatever you call them, so you can get your degree. And that is an underserved area, 140,000 doctors too short in rural America. And John Rakovich, who founded VCOM, is 100% focused on rural healthcare. So he creating those programs. We have choices in high school or even primarily high school.
I'm all for this idea, the school teachers and all, get them the tools they need. We need different tools than what we're given to the school teachers now. We need more teachers who are maybe ex-electricians or something. They want to teach the younger generation their skill. I don't know how to get there, but that should be the focus, and we should stop sending them to indoctrination schools. Our teachers now are part of the indoctrination system, whether you like it or not.
Right.
That's where it's at. So you give them more money to do the same thing they're doing against our children. They're not supporting the values of the parents, nor where we want the education. So how do you put the pressure on the pressure point to stop the curriculum? What's your answer to that? How do you get it in the curriculum? Because that's what we're going to teach them.
I mean, there are more pathways coming through different alternative schools. We need them to go faster. It is a hard system.
Yeah, and I will tell you, and I think, I think he's very much on the education side of it, but I think what's coming, Trump did not mention school choice in this last State of the Union address. He always talks about it. I think he's keeping it on the down low because of what's coming with the federal tax credit scholarship program. It is $1,700 per donor, with no cap. I think we could raise several hundred million, $1 billion. I think South Carolina has a potential of, I think, about $2 to $3 billion going into a school choice program that can open these types of alternative schools all over the state. And that's just one state. Look at nationally. And I think it gives I see him doing the prayer hands over there, hoping it works. But I mean, it will give us the opportunity to have more. It helps homeschool. It helps the private school. It lets people start schools and do things. You can't start a school because where are you going to get the funding? If a school costs $15,000 a kid, where are they going to get the funding to start a new alternative type school that's going to do this? This program is going to have the ability to do that. I think it's going to change the world of education.
Part of the problem also is the fact that we have a lack of discipline.
Well,
the schools are not allowed to discipline these children when they get out of hand. Their answer is call sorrow, have him take them out and take care of them. And that is, if you've got to the point where you're having that's too late.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
Lucia Drexler, East Side Precinct. My experiences with my German family in Europe and stationed there, seeing it, visiting with them and my cousins. They have a very effective apprenticeship program. which would answer a lot of those questions. And because in Europe, you're not pressured to go to college. It's more the other way. Most people go to some sort of trade, and there is a very effective apprenticeship program, which would solve a lot of these problems.
We're big on education, so you're getting a lot of education questions. Thank you. Great. Yes. Yep.
Rebecca Goodman, Greenville 03. I'm alluding back to the teachers in the classroom having control over the students. We need to give instruction, military crowd control instructions. I'm serious. No,
I sent myself to military college, so I get it. Yes.
Okay. Military crowd control for our teachers and let them crowd control the classrooms. My daughter teaches high school. She was a captain in the Air Force, and she has no problems in her classroom. She has wild kids. I understand. They call her captain. So she has no problems because they know she's not going to fool around.
Yeah.
So I rest my case.
It is rare, as Bob said, it's rare. All right.
Yes, sir.
Y'all probably have another appointment, or yes? I can see her over there getting nervous. Thank you for coming. You're welcome anytime, whatever we can do.
Yes.
Oh, the Super Saturday Simpsonville. What?
This is for our volunteers.
Okay. So it's a volunteer event, Super Saturday. Get the vote out with Team Atchley. Join Team Atchley this weekend and door knock in the 4th District. If you can move it up a little on the 10 a.m. door. Y'all meeting at Starbucks
in
Simpsonville.
Mm-hmm.
And it is tomorrow, 10 a.m.
Which
one? Yeah.
I'll get the exact.
It's 1402 West Georgia Road. So meet at 1402 West Georgia Road at 10 a.m. Be early. Military people are early. If you're on time, you're late. And then door knocking at 11. So meet at Starbucks tomorrow at 1402 West Georgia Road.
And take a yard sign if you want one. I saw some out here.
Good.
Happy to replenish those. And anyway,
you got some yard signs out. I see them. We drive up and down with the Wade Hampton.
We have really good volunteers for attacking the yard signs, which we appreciate. We also have lots of palm cards. I'll leave more here today if you want to take some and get them out to your neighbors and friends that might be interested. There's a QR code. You can go directly to our website and read more about David and see the podcast. I think his podcasts are on there as well.
Okay, good. Very good. All right. Fantastic.
And I'm open. My phone does ring and I do answer. So.
Better not get a voice. Thank you very much. Thank you, David. Good luck with everything, and we'll see you soon. I know we have 2 other updates. We have Emerson and Ray. Emerson, which one? Who wants to go first? Emerson? You got to leave at 1? So Ray's going to hurry. Who's got the quicker update? All right, Ray, we can do Ray's real quick, and then we'll get to Emerson. Oh, David? Have we? He's not answering his calls.
Can't answer the phone. You ain't got it.
Speaking into the mic.
I think it just ruined his plans. Yeah, I'll be quick. Believe it or not. Okay. I'm sure everyone here already knows this.
All right. I'm going to use the Anthony bell. Hey, where's Anthony? I know. I'm just going to come and get him. Sorry.
For the with the governmental debate, Ron Reddy was really the only one who answered very favorably for Bill S. 1095. The question was, would they sign it into law? Although Rudolph, he said that he didn't like the bill, but he would sign it in.
Who said that? Not Rudolph.
Randolph.
Alan Wilson.
No, Randolph. Getting brain fried here. Ralph.
Ralph. Rudolph.
So bad for butchering that one. Okay, so that was my big takeaway from that event. Also want to remind, we did have a Love Life member speaking here earlier today. Again, the GC Pro-Life Committee will be co-sponsoring their prayer walk on the 13th of June. And I'd like to extend that invitation to everybody else. And for our educational outreaches, Carrie will be giving her talk on youth and Asian-assisted suicide. After that, we'll be having Theology of the Body at Christ on Main, and and then in July, I'll be giving a talk on morality and ethics.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
That was easy. Cool.
Wait.
Yes, please.
Again, I want to announce that.
Take it on the mic, or you can make an announcement, but use the mic if you want anybody to hear it.
I just want to say that the geoengineering event, talk about geoengineering with Dane Whittington, who's been fighting for decades, is on May 18th at El Bethel Baptist Church in Greer at 6 p.m.
May 18th, Baptist. In Greer. Yeah. Perfect. All right, Emerson, you're up. Emerson is our new first vice chair.
Welcome to the hot seat.
And I'm trying to think, were you at the GCRP meeting the other day, Greenville Tech?
No.
So
I crammed for exams.
we elect him and then he doesn't show up at the meetings.
I spend 20 hours a week on this job. I track every hour.
Only 20 hours a week? What?
Well, I ain't the chairman yet.
Thank goodness he's not thinking about it until he turns 40. We love to pick on everybody.
Yeah,
It's
so
fun.
yeah,
we
so-
only pick on you because we like you.
I would hope so. I hope not big for any other reasons. But one of the things I ran on when I decided I wanted to try to become your new first vice chairman was I wanted to use my relative youth to engage more with the young Republican crowd. And I'm happy to report that since my election, that process has been going along swimmingly and making some fantastic progress. As some of you know, I'm a student at Clemson, and I work very heavily with the Young American Liberty chapter up there. I'm the current treasurer, and I'm now the new outreach chairman of the Clemson College Republicans, and as well as forming a policy committee for the College Republicans as well. One of the new things we're trying out this August, and one of the things I've been trying to find some people to help out with, is we are shifting our policy committee away from being a traditional kind of a brick and mortar research group, given that the university offers a lot of similar opportunities that we're going after. Instead of creating what we're calling the South Carolina Sentinel Society, which is going to be a publication. We're hoping to be able to put out articles, hopefully eventually weekly, but at least on a monthly basis. We currently have 4 contributors signed up, all being between the ages of the youngest 16 through 25, and hoping to grow that number somewhere between 6 and 8 by the time of August. So we're looking for any young people, or honestly just young people, for those who want to have a platform to publish works, whether it be on policy, certain bills that are both in the State House and in Congress, certain what's around the Trump administration, other things regarding investigative journalism, as well as works of political philosophy and doing deep dives on certain issues that are very pertinent for the next generation of America's leaders. So I'm hoping that we can expand this effort to have it be a bridge between county GOPs. We've seen some people that are going to be up in the Oak County area, up in Anderson, that have expressed interest. So if you know anyone you think may be interested in, or likes to talk about politics or likes to write, and I have business cards and send them my way, I'd love to have a chance to talk with them.
It's fantastic. Awesome. So Heritage Foundation, they do the Heritage Sentinel. So I guess kind of what a Sentinel will do is kind of protecting or getting that information out there.
So Sentinel Society this is kind of a one smaller group, part of a larger effort. I was recruited by, they're trying to make it more of like a more traditional think tank. I was recruited for it this past August. But we're trying to get a group of really hard-right American first young people who want to become political leaders, both at the local level and regional level,
and trying to give them a platform to get their message out and to engage more people in the academic realm of politics and policy. A lot of people, especially the young side, like to work on campaigns, like to door knock and things like that. I think we need both people doing that and people who want to draft the policies that we are trying to get put into law.
I think it's fantastic. Obviously, you have to have the policy in there, but people also need to have the experience. David, kind of, you saw his points of being involved in it. It's probably the first campaign he's ever been involved in, is his own. If we get more youth involved, even just door knocking, or we had somebody the other day where I was just like, 15 is a little young. They were at the baseball game or whatnot the other day. But I had somebody who was of that age, older now, but said that when they were younger, they were on the Democratic side, they were, put in a room and said to make phone calls. They had 15-year-old, that child labor laws probably about lady, but they were making phone calls. But imagine if you were comfortable making those phone calls, advocating for your candidate. Imagine where you then take that in the business realm later on of being able to communicate with people at a place of business, those types of things. First time I knocked on a door, I was nervous about it. And I was a lawyer to see all that kind of fun stuff and had done all kinds of interesting things. I never knocked on somebody's door and wait to see who would open it up. And then, you get different types of people that open that door up, and you got to, be able to think fast on your feet and be able to kind of respond appropriately to that and not offend somebody if you're representing a candidate. So being more involved, and certainly for youth, I think there's more than just, we got a bunch of people that are door knocking. We got a lot of young people that are learning how to improve their skills. I even say for older people, if you want to do professional development, go knock on doors, make some phone calls, even the first step of texting folks. You got to learn how to respond to some text when somebody sends you back something nasty. How do you professionally respond to it? How do you do, all those types of things? So
Take a screenshot.
Take a screenshot, yeah.
Well, and across the United States, the number of they call them paid Democrats, really were employed by government agencies, NGOs, and organizations on the left that are doing things like this professionally. Numbers over 100,000. On the Republican side, it's 10,000. Most of them being in the DC metro area or working for Fox News. So we need more actual formal institutions that are organizing not just on a grassroots level, but on a more professional level. Now, I can't offer a wage, but I can offer a cause we're fighting for. I think that really makes up for it.
Yeah, and to what Emerson's point is very important. I don't know if he's stealing my stuff because he's going to campaign next time. But I've been saying
it's like another 4 years until I graduate.
Okay, 4 years I'll be done. I'm out.
Then you're out.
I'm done. So yes, please. I'm an estate planner, so you have to have who's going to replace you? That'll be great. But think about this. People here locally complain about the Liberty Fellowship, Liberty Institute, whatever. They say it's leftist, and I know it goes up into whatever that national or international group is. I can't even remember. What do you remember that all? What does the Liberty Fellowship go into? Remember that one lady that would complain about them all the time? Whatever the group is, it is run by the left, and it is how they influence people, and it is how they get younger folks into it. To do the Liberty Fellowship, you have to be under 40, up and coming kind of professional. Who's going to turn down an opportunity to go to some little thing where they meet once a month and have a nice fancy, lunch or dinner, and then they get to go on a trip somewhere or something like that? That's how you indoctrinate people. The left is indoctrinating our youth all over the place, and we're not doing it. We're not, and then we're not giving them, another avenue to do these types of things. And that's what we've got to do. I mean, look at the school board associations. They're here locally. There's something called PEP, Public Education Partners. Sounds great, right? They hate school choice. They hate everything. I mean, it's like they're our enemy, but then they're funded and or supported. You know who one of their I guess it's not one of their one of their board members, not a voting board member, but it's the superintendent of the Greenville County Schools. That's like an automatic member type thing. And I'm like, where's the conservative group that has an automatic member being the head of the school, the school district? We don't have that, and no wonder that's all they're hearing on the other side.
and one of the first reports I'm hoping to work on is what be on the topic of school choice. I graduated from UHC, which is right down the road, the Upstate Homeschool Co-op. It's one of the largest homeschooling operations in the nation. There's over 12,000 students at currently, and they started from our garage, 4 students, and now it's across 4 different campuses.
Yeah.
The physics is taught by accomplished general electric engineers, math by people who have master's degrees in biomedical engineering. But the issue is that a lot of these kids, myself included, want to do dual enrollment. I took 3 semesters of dual enrollment classes. But the issue is they can't get in South Carolina, we have exported our decision making on hiring practices for dual enrollment educators. We have it now to this regional agency, and they're the ones who decide it. And by their regulations, need to have basically a master's degree in education, or equivalent of, I think it's 12 credit hours of graduate level education classes. So that means that my calculus teacher, Mr. Freno, who has a master's degree in biomedical engineering, can't go teach college calculus, but the fact that he's probably more qualified than majority of the teachers who are teaching at Greenville Tech, because he's actually applied it in the workplace and understands just beyond the theoreticals. So that's one of the bills I'm hoping to be working both with state legislators on, with whether it be with Freedom Caucus or whoever will give me an ear to hear. But it's one of the big issues in the Civil Society is pushing on promoting homeschooling, promoting school choice, because at the end of the day, we need to apply specific solutions to specific people, because one size fits all fits no one.
That's a good point. If everybody's in charge, nobody's in charge. If everybody, all right.
That's all I got.
That's fantastic. It's great.
So I keep an open door. I'm probably excited for exams may not be as responsive as I usually am.
What's exam?
What is it?
Nothing fun. But hopefully, as of the 1st, I will be wide up. Give me 3 weeks before I go to Poland. So anything you need, let me know.
Thank you very much. It's a great first vice chair report. Very good. He'll be giving those for the next 4 years. Look at that. Catch him on the way out. All right. What do we want to talk about? Penny tax? Oh, we got that. And we do have this. So we got 2 things we got to talk about. Actually, part of the same. Go ahead.
I'm happy that everybody's bearing with us on this Constitution Live class, but we've decided on the class. We've got some dates definitely in mind. It is going to be at the Veterans Helping Veterans location at the Elks Lodge on Pelham Road. And all I can say at this point is there's conflicts in meeting times, and that's being ironed out. We've been approved to have the class. We're taking signatures. Anybody who wants to join that class, Constitution Live is going to be a 6-week class, and it'll be on Thursdays or between 11 and 1 o'clock. Is that right?
It'll start at 11 and 11 to 1. Be a 2-hour class during lunch at the Elks Club, where you just haven't finalized the start date. Will be either the 14th or the 21st of May for 6 weeks. The Constitution Live class will start either 14th or 21st, where you just haven't finalized that, but it'll be from 11 A to 1 P during lunch on Thursdays at the Elks Club.
Yeah, I think it's great because the Vets Helping Vets meets between 10 and 11, and then it can kind of flow right into that, and hopefully y'all get a couple sponsors for lunches. And
we've already got a good number base signed up, so sign up early. So make sure you got a seat.
And Ron gave me grief. I signed up yesterday, and he's like, if people see your name on there, nobody signs up after you, I'm coming.
I said, lightning strikes. Wherever Jeff goes, a lightning strikes. Everybody stands back a little bit. And that's a good thing. We know what our leaders are, right? But there's another program though. I'm going to
yes. And what I appreciate about what Bob is wanting to do with this, you taught these up in Virginia, right?
Yes, not for Bill Liberty,
but other class, part of the whole Patriots Academy series of things. So we've been very supportive of it. We've been supportive of this and any type of class that teaches this constitutional stuff, because I don't think people learn. The example I give people is I went to law school first year of law school as a 1L, you have to take 6 hours. It's kind of a standard curriculum in your first year. 6 hours of constitutional law, 3 the first semester, 3 second. I don't know. I knew how to read cases that went to the Supreme Court that had to do with stuff. I didn't understand what the Constitution was really about. I did not understand how the Constitution is there to protect our freedoms and all those types of things, and really to protect us from the government or protect us from the government overreach, until I took one of these types of classes. So, I mean, there's different pros and cons of different types of classes that are out there. Patriot Academy does a great thing. What I'm excited about is Bob has, he's pushy like me. Bob's got the energy and excitement about it as well, but he's trying to work on, I think, 3 different classes really at the same time, right? So we'll have the one going on. They'll have the one going on with the Elks Club and the vets, and I think that's going to be neat because I haven't been over there. And you're talking about a second one doing it here with Greenville GOP.
Rick Green and the Patriot Academy came up with another program called Rebuilding Liberty, and basically it's gives 8 building blocks of what liberty means, and then it gives us 12 different programs to kind of look at how to restore liberty. If it's about getting God back in schools, or if it's about personal property rights, parental rights, and things of that nature. But it kind of helps build builds a foundation. So if it's one of your projects you want to endeavor into, then it gives you some a platform on how to build and how to take it to the next level. Because everybody here is someone who loves to take action, that believes in liberty and fight. Freedom isn't free, and that's what this whole program is all about, is taking additional steps on how to make change and how to restore our liberty, our personal freedoms that are in the Constitution.
Yeah, there's the actions study of it all. This one is more about the implementation and how to put shoe leather to it and actually do things, which is what we want to do here. So it's like, give us the tools, talk about the things, give us the direction and the excitement to go out there and do more. And I think it's an 8-part series, but we're thinking about doing it.
No, this is a 4-part series.
Oh, it's 4.
We're going to do it in 2. And I do have some success stories that are happening in Kings Mountain and over in Gaston County and stuff, where they've been able to take some of these, take this format, this plan, and how to implement it on a local level. I'll kind of go into some of that as well. So,
I reviewed this in conjunction with Bob here. It was so powerful a message because they go back and they show in the history how we lost our rights under the Constitution. It goes back to the limit law. You might want to make a mention about that. But when you see how the courts have taken away our rights out of the Constitution, now we know what to do to restore them. And this is very important.
It's like the frog in the boiling.
Yeah, we don't realize we're being boiled.
Right. Yep. And we are being boiled. How do people sign up?
Well, guys, we were looking to do this on Tuesdays from 12 to 2 or 11 to 1. It's up to us to kind of decide real quickly. Just want to do a lunch over Denny's, kind of make it a lunch event, because a lot of people are going door knocking after hours. Around, or we could do it on Saturday. I was thinking the same thing. So it's up to us. We were building this program for you guys, so we could either do maybe a lunch on a Tuesday was my first thought, but if that's not convenient for everybody, we can do it at a different time. Okay.
So but is it just 2-hour sessions, or is it?
It's really up to you guys. We could do it in 2 or 4. I was trying to, we always talk about everybody's time is so precious. So, we could, I'm flexible.
So it's 2 hours or either 4 1 hours. So Terry's question,
1.5.
4 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
Or 2 hours.
2.5.
2.5. Okay. I'm more about doing 2 and getting it done.
Yeah. Well, again, it's a teaching program. It's not it's an implementation program. So it's more than just learning history.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that's why, so there's pros and cons to everything, you guys. So I'm not opposed to doing 2 sessions.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good place to start, and we can tweak it as we go.
And this will be our first. I mean, we're going to do this multiple times.
Yeah.
Is my vision for it.
So
and, it's like Bob, Ron's class. I mean, we teach them multiple times. But to Terry's question on here, where to sign up, Terry, we haven't gotten for the one we're doing with this one. but
We're finalizing it as we
we're
speak.
finalizing that as
Yeah.
we speak. So we don't have dates and times yet on that. Ron, y'all are either starting on May 7th or the 14th. You got to sign up.
14th and 21st, and we're looking at 21st now because of
Some other things. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's how many? Is it 8 or 6? It's 6.
It's
It
the
was-
same class we put on at the American Legion.
Yes. So Terry, it's the same class we put on at American Legion. She came to that. But this will be at lunch. It'll be at the Elks Club off of Pelham, and we'll get a sign up sheet once they finalize.
And
the
you know,
dates.
if you've taken a Constitution class, this is the next step. It feeds right into that. What can I
Rebuild a
do? Now
liberty.
that I know the Constitution, now I see how it's been taken away. What do I do? This is the action.
So some of us that have already taken that class, we can go straight to action. Anybody can come straight to action.
Yeah.
But then, and if you need a refresher on Ron's, because
What I would like to start is probably May the 12th, because May the 5th is Cinco de Mayo. So we can start as early as May the 5th if that's not important to everybody, because I know there's some things at the Elks Club on the 5th for Cinco de Mayo. But I'm more flexible, the 5th or the 12th as well. I can start for 2 weeks. So you guys, if you want to take a quick vote.
May 12th is my birthday, so
Happy birthday.
I like the 12th. I like working on the 12th. Well, and that's what we've talked about as well. We can do lunch and we can do in the evenings. Maybe do it twice, lunch and in the evening. And because we've been talking about doing some stuff here, coffee and politics is tough for some people to get to, and other people want to come. Instead, they don't like coffee; they like a beer.
Yeah, that's
Beer and
lunch
liberty.
is for retirees, right?
Finally, they let me have Friday. And
All right.
then
Well,
margarita says, I feel for every day.
Okay, we can do a 5 to 7
Yeah.
on Tuesdays. I'm flexible. I was just trying to,
Yeah. And it's a tough time with all the campaigns, and it's
That's all. I'm just trying.
this is the most difficult thing is figure out when, and that's why I'm a big believer of broadcasting and also a big believer in having it multiple times. So.
All these events, they're going to be on the website.
How about
Oh, yeah.
by next Friday? Let's
This
Yeah.
was done.
Well, they'll
Okay.
figure it out by next Friday, and we'll announce next
Okay.
Friday. So very good. Did you have a question?
Once it's final, I just post it on the chat.
Yeah, we'll post it on the chat too. Did you have a legislative update? Anything? No, you're all good. Do you have a one part rule you want to teach us?
Everybody's campaign.
About a motion? I'm still not sure about the motion to adjourn thing. Do we debate it? Can we talk about the motion to end the meeting at a certain time?
I'll make a motion.
What?
I'll make a motion.
I think do we have something? What else do we have? Oh, Olga's got her announcements. Oh, can we put up a picture of Terry? All right, I want to do the 5th vice chair's job, and we'll tell you why I'm doing the 5th vice chair's job.
She's on vacation.
But we got a surprise coming.
There you go.
We have a couple Republican meetups. We have some candidates, make it more informal, but the first one is going to be next Monday up at the this coming Monday. So 3 days from now, I would highly recommend. It's I can't see the whole thing. Tipsy Taco up in Travelers Rest. It's really for the folks in that District 17. Anybody can come. David Pasco is going to be there. So to me, it's like anybody wants to hear what he's talking about. I will tell you, Pasco is going to be on Bill Frady on Monday, and I think he's going to be doing some more information drops on some things. I don't want to steal anybody's thunder from anything, but we have a lot of problems in our judicial system, and it is getting worse. Quite frankly, it is getting much worse. I got a letter from our. Okay. But people want to come to the Met to hear what we're doing on judicial reform. Right? So David Pascal will be there, but we're also going to have some of the candidates. One can't make it because he's got a prior commitment, but we will have the candidates for District 17, Joe Dill, John Ellers, James Hord. So that's going to be a very interesting race. National County Council. Travis Forrest can't make it because he's got something else, but I think he's coming to something else we're doing later.
And it's Tipsy Taco, so.
Tipsy Taco and Travelers Rest, 6:30, and they'll have their food or whatever they do up there. So I don't know exactly how. But Mary, yes, you can do that. It's a Mexican restaurant. Tacos. But Mary Wheeler is kind of heading that. She's our treasurer, and she's up in that district, so she wanted to make sure her folks up there were well informed, and I think it'll be a fun event. And then the next Monday, so we don't have something up, but also that is Monday the 27th. The next Monday, the 4th, we're going to have a similar type of event with some other candidates, some other elected officials that are coming in Simpsonville. And that Simpsonville location, what's the name of the Simpsonville? Carolina Fine Foods. I think that starts at 6 instead of 6:30, but that'll be on the 4th. Carolina Fine Foods in Simpsonville. I've talked to a couple of candidates and elected officials that are going to be there, so that should be fun too, to kind of get to know them, hear what they're saying, hear what's going on, ask some questions of some folks that are. Alan Kellett will be there. I think, of course, Councilman Jerry Chuso will be there. A few others. So I think we're reaching out for some other folks. But Frank's wife, Liz, out there's kind of running that, getting that thing up and running and going. And they have food. I've never been to Carolina Fine Foods, but apparently they have a buffet during the earlier part of the day, but they have food, so it'll be a good opportunity to kind of participate in that. So what else did you want me to promote? Carolina Fine Foods is the 6th. It's 6. The one at Tipsy Taco next Monday, the 27th, is at 6:30, and then 6 o'clock on the 4th.
All on the website. Yes.
Oh, we'll put it on the website. Yes. Oh, and now we know the reason why I had to do the job. Oh, is it delayed?
It's right.
Okay. There's a picture of Terry down at the beach. And she took a David Pasco's yard sign. So she's sitting at the beach with a David Pasco yard sign on the beach in Myrtle Beach. So that is the best. So I don't know if her husband knows that she went to the beach with David, but or I don't know if David's wife knows that he's at the beach with Terry. She knows. So I guess Olga's texted to David Pasco's wife. So I mean, that is a cute idea. I mean, I thought it was, she's like, "Oh, I'm going to take David to the beach." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She took the yard sign.
David came to the beach with me. I'm like, who's David?
Okay, what else do we got? Anything?
I love that.
Should we ring the magic Anthony bell? We'd like to name it for you, brother.
We didn't go to the penny tax.
Oh, we didn't talk. Y'all want to talk about the penny tax for just 5 minutes? All right. So apparently this happened on Tuesday at County Council. Kurt McGahey, who y'all saw here on me about for whatever. I don't know where in the world of the planet that came. But he was very obviously previously supportive of we got to keep the financial genius of Joe Cornell employed until at least he retires, and he thinks maybe they could have kept him another term if they had asked. So it's crazy. But he came up with, and remember he was elected 2 years ago, campaigning against Chris Harrison because Chris Harrison voted for the millage increase.
Again. We will make America great again.
We will make Greenville great again, too. Apparently, we have much more work to do. But he was elected on that platform. But on Tuesday night, he came out with a suggestion of we should implement a penny tax for roads, because where are you going to find $120 million in our almost $500 million budget for roads? So I'm like, I promise you, I mean, if Joe Cornell's a financial genius, ask him to go find $50 million start out of the current budget. You don't think there's 10% fat in there somewhere?
We
So
by cutting his salary.
they do get 30,000 or whatever they get. We found 30, so let's keep working on. So I mean, it's that's more the state. This is the county. So they want to do. Apparently, Greenville and Oconee do not have this extra penny tax. I don't know what. who in the right mind comes up with, oh, let me suggest more taxes, as opposed to reform. When the gas tax came up years ago, and Lee Bright fought it, and they finally had to get him out of the Senate. He's now, thank God, back in. If they need more money for roads, that's okay, but you have to reform first. You have to cut the fat first. You got to figure out why we got in this problem first. They don't want to look at why we got in the problem, because the problem was probably caused by some people who are still there. Probably the financial genius that we have as our county administrator. I'm not trying to pick on him. I don't know, but I'm just dumbfounded. People don't sit there and want to go look at this stuff. Their answer is, oh, let's just tax the people more. That is not the answer. That is the last answer. The solution to every problem. The last solution is take more money from the people, not, oh, well, I'm too lazy to do anything, so I come up with this genius idea. Oh, we are where we are, so we need to fix it. I can't fix stuff in the past. We can't change the past. Well, the same people probably encouraging him, and he'll probably say he did it all on his own, to tax more people are the same ones that got us in this mess in the first place. Had we done appropriate planning with our financial genius, had we done, they create the problem, and then they come up with, they step up with a solution. That's what they do. And we need to find the people that created the problem, because they're the ones that are probably suggesting, or whispering into people's ears now that we need this penny tax. When no, we need to end that. Somebody put up an ad the other day, or there was, that there had been a $2.5 billion impact of tourism on Greenville County. Sounds great. Why are those people not paying for it? Why do we get where did that 2.5 billion go that gave us crappy roads that we now, the citizens, the people that have lived here, do? I mean, at the District 17 debate, they're like, why should we have to pay for Greenlink? And I know Joe Farmer is hot on Greenlink. Why are they paying for Greenlink when it doesn't even get to them out there? I mean, if it gets to traffic, it does get to Travelers Rest. Let Travelers Rest pay for it. They're the ones that's the, kind of gone leftist leaning, I guess. So, we went and before when we fought, I mean, literally we fought the penny tax in 2024, right? I think it was in 24. Yes. That's the year that Kurt got elected, and we fought the penny tax and beat it. And he's suggesting another penny tax.
So all I commented on his proposal was, well, we're just going to update these guys. We were all wearing the Bono and penny tags. We already paid for the roads. We wore them in 2024. Yeah. And we defeated it on the ballot, and we'll have to do it again. Yeah.
But who would have ever thought that we are having to defeat it on the ballot again? He's like, I'm not doing it. I just want to put it as a referendum.
Well, that gives it plausible.
Exactly. Thank you. You get us gold star.
He said, well, you guys all wanted it. You can't blame me for this.
Right. But when Gary Collis
they don't have a revenue problem. They have a spending.
Yes, that's always not a revenue problem. It's a spending problem.
They just had a reevaluation of everybody's property taxes. Yes. All went up 15%, right?
Yes.
So they got a huge amount of money coming in, reallocated.
And if you can't find it in the current money you got, then
and they're still advertising this is the greatest place to come.
Yes, and I will tell you, Greg was with us. We went and stop advertising. Number one, I had a doctor's appointment, my normal doctor's appointment where they're monitoring all my stuff. The nurse practitioner that was there, she had moved up from Florida, and I asked some people all the time, what encouraged you to move here? I read about it in a magazine on an airplane. A nice person, good person. I mean, professional. I mean, it's great. She's here, whatever. I didn't ask her if she got a new house and moved into an older house and got a roof. I don't know, but it's just, she's just one of a bazillion of them, and I'm not complaining about her, but I'm like, it's the total influx when our infrastructure is not prepared for it. Our water bill for two people is $70-some a month. Greg thinks we must have a leak. I'm not, no, because it's 30 something. It's about $35 here, and nobody's taking a shower. It's just $50 for one person. That is, something is wrong.
My electric bill has almost doubled since I moved here.
In Greer, we have a break-in. I got 4 charges under my water bill now. A lot of them septic lines.
Yes.
And we're paying for all this expansion. Right. So why do they need more money for infrastructure when we're paying through my utility bill now?
And apparently they're doing something in the northern.
For what they say they are on the bill. They're saying, oh, this is to pay us back for what we already did.
Yeah.
It's a problem, and the solution is not, no, we need a penny tax. She does take a lot of baths. She's going to have to start reusing the baths. That's what they used to do in the old days, right? Fill it up once a week.
In communist Poland, you know,
Washing down with the hose.
I've done it in my life.
They probably did do it. Yeah, they probably did.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I did it growing up.
Did you
We
really?
had six brothers, okay? We all used the same bath water.
Wow.
The last one, I don't know, was me, cleaner or dirtier. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Well, all I know is when I lived in it, I first moved to Atlanta in 93, 94, my water bill, they sent the bill every 2 months because it was ridiculous to spend a stamp monthly. And I would write in January, I'd write a $100 check and send it in so I didn't have to deal with, the bills because that's all it took was for a whole year. Now it's $70-some a month, And it was funny because what they did in Atlanta, they said, oh, we need everybody to conserve. And then because everybody conserved, then they had to increase the price because there was not enough water, since people got not enough volume going through the pipes to kind of keep them cleaned out. So I'm like, so we're conserving, but now none of it makes any sense. It's all double talk. Realize everything is double talk to sit there to get you to do something they want you to do, and it sounds reasonable. We were at the governor's thing last night, and I tell you, Alan Wilson sounded great. He did sound great. I, as somebody who knows what he was talking about, knows that everything coming out of his mouth was a freaking lie because he doesn't care about corruption because he let his buddy Chad Conley off because Chad did not have criminal intent when he stole from the K-12 children with special needs. When he knew it because we were screaming from the mountaintop that you're violating the law. So, I mean, Alan is letting those people off, and they're prosecuting other people. I mean, it's the same thing with Ralph Norman. I mean, I'll bust them all. It was Ralph, Pamela Vett, and Alan Wilson. Ralph ends his whole presentation that his wife is going to be, make her specially her cause as first lady of South Carolina, special needs children. I'm like, Ralph, what did you do with Chad Conley when you knew he was stealing? I mean, that type of stuff. So, I mean, that's what's going on. I know that he's full of a bunch of bull. And we all know Pamela Vett, and she did sponsor the baseball. I will give her credit for that. And her people, I saw one of her people last night and gave the newspaper and all that kind of stuff. But where are you going to sit down and come talk to us about Chad Conley? And guess what? Chad Conley is supporting Alan Wilson, but Pamela Vett sold us out because she wanted the support of Chad Conley. Ralph Norman sold us out because he wanted the support of Chad Conley. And then Chad Conley and the faith-based community, they're all being pushed to go to Alan Wilson, who is all of them the most corrupt, because Alan Wilson's been our attorney general for 16 years. Why do you think Pasco is running for AG? Because we have total corruption all over the place, and Alan Wilson didn't do a darn thing about it for 16 years. But hell, he didn't sound great last night.
Alan and his running mate keep talking about, they're all pro-life and everything. Why is he not enforcing the law?
There it is. That's your problem. That's Ray right there. So imagine.
I heard that. I thought Ray. I was like, what the heck, man? I said there's just one thing out of one side. It depends. He's a traditional.
He's a politician.
He's a traditional politician.
Yes.
He knows how to dance in front of whoever's in front of him.
Yes.
And he says what he wants them to hear.
But what do we that's why we got to get the word out there. We got to get more people involved. We got to get more people voting.
Mace be making any appearances again?
Well, Nancy Mace is going to be at the Belton Gun Club tomorrow at 6:30. It's 40 minutes. We're going to go down and go to it. Would love for you. So, yeah, we should announce that. Nancy Mason's group is having something down. She was not there last night. But it's not. So So we'll spread it. If you go to, I don't, who asked about free food?
Who do you think?
Good Lord. The skinniest guy in the room is asking about the free
Guy's got
food.
a tapeworm.
Because I only eat free food.
Yeah, you gotta.
That's why it's skinny. I mean, nobody ever has any free food. There's a donut in there with the coffees.
We need to give Nancy a little bit of grace right now, though, with that passing of her father. So maybe she has a family situation.
And that's why she wasn't there last night. And they did a nice thing. She did a sponsor, and they had a table up front commemorating her father and his service and all that kind of stuff. So, but she'll be there. At that. I just went to the Belton Gun Club. I've never been there. I'd like to go see it. Yeah. Yeah. So, y'all want to come? Just let us know. We'll make a ride. Yeah. Be fun.
We're already indoctrinated.
And Greg's driving. We may have to put a trailer, stuff some people. We should carpool them. Oh, you don't know how to drive at night in the dark? Is that it's because you got glasses on? Don't wear your sunglasses while you're driving at night. Sunglasses at night while you're driving. All right, that's the penny tax. We'll talk more about the penny tax, and we are gearing up. We did when we saw this. I checked because on our pins we were nopennytax.com. I think Jim Wicks must have done it. It had expired, so we have rebought the web URL nopennytax.com. Yeah, it's going to just build right into. We work on defeating that, and then we'll work on. Then we'll work on changing the diapers that we need to at county council. So, yes, you can, and yes, you can quote me on that because I am absolutely sick of this. That's what they're talking about, which is kind of surprising that they could get it that soon. But I guess they can still put stuff on this November's ballot. So, anything else?
How's the petty tax apply? Is it to everything?
I think to make it sound good, well, it doesn't apply to food,
But everything else.
Probably everything else. Yes, in Greenville County. Yes.
It won't apply to food and medicine.
Yeah. Is that it for the medicine?
Food and medicine will be the only thing exempt, but
Yeah.
everything else you spend money on will have an extra 1 cent added to it.
So the main question is to ask yourself is that if your tax went up 15%, right?
Yeah, on
First
property tax.
Well, that means total revenue is already up 5, 6, 7, 8%. Whatever the numbers I haven't followed the numbers.
Yeah.
Right. So 1%, you're already fed the hog. With the personal property taxes going up 15%. So we were fed the hog, now we got to feed the hog some more.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why more tax, more money is the last solution. If he came to us and said, "Hey, we have busted chops. We've had seminars, but here's the budget. Find something in there. Here's, help us find it." Because our financial genius has not found it. Oh no, we kept him up for another 8 or 10 months.
But again, that's what you get. You can't look at the silo, the 1 cent.
Right.
You got to bring the other pieces of that puzzle together to educate. Because people think, well, penny doesn't sound like much. It doesn't. That's why they package it like they have. But you have to educate them on the other. Personal property tax went up 15%. So this is just more food for the hog.
This is, and I love your term, more food. We fed the hog once, we got to feed the hog again. This is the political manipulation that they do. Is confuse things. Oh, well, we got this problem. I don't know who caused it, but we got to solve it. And I got to be a leader. And I'm willing to step out there and propose we tax people more to fix this problem that somebody caused in the past. I don't know who caused it. Let's identify who caused it. Let's call them out. And it's probably the same people whispering in folks' ears saying we need a penny tax now. Because there are certain powerful people that want the $2.5 billion of economic input into Greenville because they profited off of it. So they spent some money to get all those people to come here. And, somebody whispered in their ears, oh, well, we should advertise Greenville. It'll be $2.5 billion financial impact. And now, oh, look at the mess all these tourists have caused. Oh, we should just do a penny tax. Find it out. So I'm frustrated. I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of all this nastiness that's out there. But we will speak truth and we'll get it out there. We will give people the opportunity to come in here and call me a loser and tell me why we need a penny tax. Sounds like you might be the loser if you're asking for another penny tax, but we shall see. I'm off my rant. All right. Do we have a motion? Motion to adjourn. Non-debatable. All in favor? Aye. All right, we're out of here. One loser in the group. See y'all next week, if not sooner.